You're just getting in the door. We have a recap with some of the local stories you may have missed. From the station putting local first, 2 new state laws passed this legislative session will help Texas pet owners make better and more informed decisions about where they take their animals to get veterinary care. Senate Bill 2155 will require all animal care facilities where veterinary medicine is practiced to register with the Texas Board of Veterinary Medical Examiners. The other bill, House Bill 500, will allocate funds to expand the TBVME's electronic database. This will allow pet owners to access information regarding complaints, inspections, and enforcement action against veterinary licensees. Then the mother and father of the 2 children who were also killed in the Ruidoso flash floods are recovering after suffering serious injuries during the flood. The family providing that update to us today. They say the mother, Stephanie, was released from the hospital over the weekend and is tender but resting. Their father, Sebastian Trotter, is beginning to recover and his surgeries have all gone well so far. He remains hospitalized but will soon be taken to a specialized rehabilitation facility where he'll focus on rebuilding his strength and mobility. The family says the couple's dog, Lily, who survived the floodwaters, is also back at home and healing. As KTSM previously reported, 7-year-old Sebastian Rowan and 4-year-old Charlotte Emery Trotter were both killed in the flash floods that ripped through Ruidoso a week ago today. 2 of their 3 dogs also died. And as monsoon season rolls on, the strong storms and flood threats, those are far from over. Meteorologists at the National Weather Service El Paso saying compared to the past few years, the monsoon season that started in mid-June is off to a pretty active start, bringing heavy rain to areas like Ruidoso right over the burn scars. That in addition to thunderstorms in El Paso that cause isolated flooding. The National Weather Service says it sends out alerts as soon as forecasters identify threats to public safety. And to get a better understanding of those alerts and how they work, we're now joined by Tim Brice, the senior meteorologist over at the National Weather Service El Paso. Tim, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time talking with us today. I wanted to kind of start out by maybe educating some of our viewers watching at home a little bit more on the role the National Weather Service plays in forecasting our weather, especially when it comes to big weather events like we saw in Ruidoso last week, as well as the area that you guys cover.
Exactly. Well, Andy, first of all, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk with you and everyone. Yeah, the National Weather Service, our primary goal is to protect lives and property. We are a government agency. We're part of the Department of Commerce. And our main role here is to keep you and everybody out there watching on television safe from severe and extreme weather. So it's our job to issue the warnings. It's our job to issue the watches to make sure you all stay informed of any weather that is coming in your direction. Now, this office, the El Paso Weather Office, we actually Texas, El Paso and Hudspeth counties, and a big hunk of south central and southwest New Mexico, and that would include Cloudcroft, Truth or Consequences, Silver City, Lordsburg, Las Cruces. So we cover all of those counties across south central and southwest New Mexico.
And Tim, much has been made about the timeliness when it comes to the alerts that went out in central Texas. The flooding we saw there, obviously not an area that you guys cover, but you guys play a major role in getting those alerts out a week ago today when we saw some of the devastating flooding up in Ruidoso. How exactly does that process work, from issuing warnings to people actually seeing those warnings on their phones as well as online? I know you're very active on social media.
Yes, so we will use any way to get the message out to as many people as possible. I joke with my friends. I say we've got this big red button that we push when we issue a warning, and I think that's what's in people's minds. But to be honest, it's not glamorous as that. It's just a computer and a keyboard. Once one of our forecasters identifies either heavy rain that's it's going to cause a flash flood, or a thunderstorm that's going to have hail greater than an inch or wind gusts greater than 58 miles an hour, we will draw a square or a polygon to identify this is the area that's in threat, and then our software, after we hit enter, our sends it out, and it goes out to people's cell phones, it goes out to our different weather vendors, and it goes out to people like Robert there at the TV station so that he can work with the information that we're providing to help spread that message of safety.
I know you and our chief meteorologist, Robert Bettis, work very, very closely together. We often hear the terms watch or advisory. We hear the term a warning when it comes to big weather events like floods, dust, wind, and even heat. What are some of the key distinctions, and what does each one kind of depend on, or does it depend on the actual weather event in terms of those distinctions and what we see?
Right. So we do have three things. We have an advisory, we have a warning. And the two that are really the important ones are the watch and the warning. The watch basically means conditions are right, conditions are coming together that may cause a situation where some extreme weather will form, but it has not formed yet. I look at it as if you're making tacos, you've got your shells, you've got your tomatoes, you've got your meat, it's all laid out on the table, it's all ready to go, but it's not a taco yet. So what happens with the warning, taco's ready to go and you're ready to eat it. That means that when we issue the severe extreme weather to begin or ongoing, the advisory is a lower level. It would be less than what we consider severe weather. And we do issue warnings for dust, for severe thunderstorms, for flash flooding, tornadoes, which we don't get very often. We do, on occasion, rarely do get tornado warnings, and we do get tornadoes, but by far most of the warnings that we do issue are those flash flood warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, and lately, as everyone's seen, those dust storm warnings.
Yeah, we know accurate weather forecasts don't always result in a good outcome, which I know is something that we saw up in Rio do So last Tuesday. What's a common misconception that people have when these alerts go out? I think of, alerts going out to a phone and people kind of just disregarding them. What's the misconception that most people have?
Well, the challenge with the Weather Service, and I'll be honest, when I first started in the Weather Service, I would push the button to send out the warning, and I felt like my job was done. I got the message out. Over the years, I learned that it is so much more complicated than that. People need that confirmation bias. And what that is that, okay, you get a warning on their phone. I naively assume, well, you got a warning from us, they take it. That's not true. They look for to confirm it. That may be an uncle that says, oh, it's raining real hard at my house and it's headed your way. Or maybe they look out and they see a dark cloud. So people get all this information and then they make that decision to act. So the Weather Service has actually brought in social scientists agency to help us better understand how we can craft the wording of our messages, and that's why it's so important that we work closely with our media. We send out the same message on social media that we send out via our other weather vendors and things like that. We want the same message to be going out on multiple channels so that wherever somebody turns, the same message need to take action to stay safe.
Tim, real quick, we'll get you out of here on this one. We got about 30 seconds. What weather app should people be using? I know a lot of people don't like using the weather app that comes standard on an Android or an iPhone. What weather app should people be using? I think it's a very valid and a good question for you.
It is. I can't recommend one specific weather app. I can just tell people to, we have a web page that you can actually save on the desktop of your smartphone. But just try out different weather apps, several of them that do provide that alert, that information. If it's a serious enough, our warnings actually will go straight to your cell phone and alert you. So it's good to have a weather app. It's good to have multiple ways. Another way to do that is to get a weather radio. All of these are different ways to get our information to you so that you can stay safe.
And thank you so much for your time today. Certainly, we've seen a really active start to the monsoon season, keeping you guys busy while you're keeping us safe here at home. We certainly appreciate all of your insight here tonight.
Glad I could be here.
All right, and now